Scientists say that laziness doesn't exist at all, and to understand this, we'll do test number 2. We need to determine whether it's laziness or fatigue. Laziness can spread to a specific type of activity, to specific tasks. Fatigue spreads to all areas of life and basically to all tasks. Think about which option you have and write to me in the comments. The difference between laziness and fatigue is very easy to understand. Laziness is when you don't want to, and fatigue is when you can't. And most importantly, fatigue passes if you rest well and put your life in order. Laziness, apathy, and depression don't pass even if you rest well. So, if after these 2 tests you wrote to me in the comments that you are chronically lazy, that is constantly, often, regularly, can't get up, don't want anything, can't do anything for most of the time, and you don't want or can't do any specific action in a specific area of life, and in general you don't want or can't do any action, then this checklist and 10 basic things for chronic fatigue and burnout are especially for you. What do you need to do with this checklist? Firstly, you can print it out, and I will leave a link to it under this video. Secondly, you can put it on your phone screen and check whether you are following the basic principles. So, let's go. If you feel tired, if your hands don't get up, you don't have the strength and you don't want or can't do anything, ask yourself a question. Did I sleep well? Did I have enough quality and amount of sleep? I won't dwell on it in detail, but you know very well that if you don't follow the sleep mode naturally the next day, and if you accumulate it, and it accumulates like a snowball, you will fall from a state of vigor into a state of fatigue. And then it's not surprising that you feel lazy. Secondly, ask yourself a question. Do I follow the diet, and in general, do I have a diet? If you eat properly, that is, certain hours, a certain portion of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, if you feel full and your body will work like a clock, you will get the necessary amount of all the microelements and all the necessary substances. This will definitely give you laziness and save you from fatigue. The third question on the checklist is to check yourself. Do you spend enough time in the fresh air? Do you breathe deeply? And do you breathe fresh air? You know, when you lack oxygen, when you lack fresh air, or you don't breathe deeply, your brain seems to start overheating. You get such a sleepy state. You yawn. You can't concentrate. And of course, you get tired faster. You don't want to do anything and you think you're lazy. The fourth question on the checklist is whether I drink enough water. I know for sure that when I drink water, which is not enough for me, my head starts to hurt. I have a feeling that it even makes me nauseous. I get tired faster. I feel dehydrated, as if a grape turns into a grapefruit right in front of your eyes. The fifth question on the checklist is whether I have enough physical activity. Do I sit or move more? Does blood and lymph move in my body? Or have I already frozen and all the water in my body has turned into some kind of smelly swamp? Scientists have proven that physical activity starts all the systems in the body, and hormones and blood and lymph, they greatly affect how you feel, in what state you are. The sixth point on our checklist is sex. If you don't have regular daily blood flow, which means excitement in the area of the small pelvis, if you don't feel how your stomach is filled with warmth, your genital system seems to freeze. Naturally, this is reflected in your overall state. You feel as if there is no life if you don't feel this sexual energy in yourself, the flow of warmth, the flow of blood, the excitement. You know that I have been studying Taoist practices for more than 18 years. My teacher, Mantek Chia, told me the main secret of youth. Every person should be excited every day. If you don't have a sexual desire, you don't have a desire to live, because desire to live and sexual desire are the same. The seventh point on our list is, of course, the sun. And sometimes we feel tired just because we don't have enough sun. That's why I always live where the sun is. I follow the sun and I always live in summer. I understand that not everyone has such an opportunity, and you can't even afford such an idea. That's why every time there is at least a ray of the sun on the street, put your face under it and absorb it to the fullest. The eighth point on our checklist is laughter. Is it enough for you to laugh often? Laugh every day. Watch some funny videos on the internet. Laugh. Have fun with your children. Call those people you know, or surround yourself with those people who are funny in real life. Because laughter is the best way to overcome fatigue and feel the surge of energy. There is also such an exercise in Qigong practices, laughing Qigong. When you wake up in the morning, you take your hands, put them on your stomach and start pushing your hands with your stomach and start laughing. Yes, at first it's artificial, but then you start laughing for real. And this exercise, laughing Qigong, will help you get rid of fatigue and regain your spirit. The 9th point on our checklist is sluggishness. We fall into apathy, depression, laziness. We feel terrible fatigue, as if our hands don't rise. Sometimes it's just because everything is piled up. There is a mess at home. There are a lot of unresolved things, a lot of unresolved calls, tasks. That is, it's trash, a mess. And what you need to do on a regular basis, to do it as a normal part of your life, to clean up these messes and put order in your life. And the last, 10th point on our checklist. Sometimes we feel chronic fatigue. Sometimes we feel that we don't want anything at all and can't do anything just because we haven't been pleasing ourselves for a long time. You haven't given something to your child inside. It's as if you wanted something but you refused it. It's something basic. It's something elementary. Give it to yourself. Rejoice in some pleasant little thing in yourself and you will feel the surge of energy. So this was a checklist of basic things that you should do regularly and constantly in order not to fall into fatigue, not to fall into chronic laziness. And this is the first thing you should do after this podcast. And now look carefully. If you have done all this, and if you do it constantly and regularly, but it doesn't help you, you still don't want anything, you still can't do anything, you feel tired, you are chronically lazy, then we move on to the next level of solving the problem. And I will tell you the following. You won't be able to do it yourself. You need professional help. Let me explain again. If you live the way we just talked about in the checklist, if you love yourself and do these 10 basic things for yourself that help you be filled with energy, but at the same time you can't wake up in the morning, it's hard for you to move, you have problems with sleep, you have problems with nutrition, you have problems with weight, you have no strength, no desire, no aspiration, no energy, maybe your problem has gone too far, and this is called apathy and depression. As my therapist explained to me, when you have such a state for more than 2 days that you can't breathe and you can't lift your arms, this is apathy. If this lasts for more than 2 weeks, you enter depression. There are several stages in depression. There are earlier stages, there are deeper stages, but in any case, do not stay alone with this problem, but go to a therapist.